Poland, Poland, Poland. You continue to surprise me. I've been to almost 70 countries. This is my first visit to Poland. I just spent a few days in Krakow. Currently, I'm in Gdansk, Poland, right in the north. And this is one of the most unique places I've ever been to. Let's explore. Our first destination is the Golden Gate. There it is. This is the entrance to the medieval city of Gdansk. And wait. Just wait until you see the main street. It is so cool. Let's go through the Golden Gate. Over 400 years old, built in 1612. Unfortunately under construction right now, but look at this medieval main street. It is so cool. Just imagine a few hundred years ago, people coming here, meeting, doing their shopping. It's so cool. And then we have the Golden Gate. Welcome to Long Street. This is the main street here in Gdansk. I've been to some pretty old places. Gdansk is only 1,000 years old, which is not that old in the grand scheme of things, but I think these buildings are so cool. I don't remember ever seeing a street that looks like this. Like, you can just imagine, like I said, the markets here, people gathering a few hundred years ago. I think it looks so cool. And of course, no cars, which is always a bonus. There's some bars, some restaurants, but I just think the buildings are so cool. And then the church in the background. So Long Street is known for its colorful buildings. And I love that every single building looks different, has its own color. Of course, history is so interesting because I'm sure these buildings were pretty important back in the day, but now they're just restaurants. I've really enjoyed my visit to Poland. Like I said, my first time ever in this country. I have no idea why. I've never been here before, but I've really enjoyed it. It's not what I've been expecting at all, but this is exactly what I expect a medieval city to look like. Sorry if you hear a little bit of the wind. It's very, very overcast today. We had some very, very hot days in Krakow, but a bit windy today, but it's okay. I gotta get used to the cooler weather because the whole reason I'm in Gdansk is because I'm flying to the Arctic Circle. My flight is tomorrow morning and I had to come to Gdansk to fly to the Arctic Circle. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So that building there, that is not a church. That is actually the Gdansk Town Hall. Looks very, very old. I wonder what's inside the door. Look at these statues. Let's go up the stairs. Hear ye, people of Gdansk. That is the Neptune fountain, built in 1633, and it's named after the Roman god of the sea, Neptune. And Gdansk is right in the north of Poland, like I said, and we are actually on the sea. You can actually take a cruise to Gdansk. I'm not sure how far away the cruise port is, but I see a lot of tour groups going around, especially from Ada, which is a German cruise line. But this is Artus Court. Like I said, imagine in medieval times, people coming here. So cool. Hard Rock Cafe. I have never been to a Hard Rock Cafe in my life. Let's see what down here, maybe we can find something interesting. I hope that you've enjoyed these Poland videos because it's been a surprise for me. So maybe you haven't had the chance to see Poland before, and I highly recommend that you visit. Don't come in winter though, because it gets extremely cold here. It is currently June, and like I said, Krakow is extremely warm. It's overcast today, but I highly recommend visiting Poland. So I did learn that there was no fighting in World War II in Krakow. So those buildings there, they're pretty old from before the war, but there was some fighting here, so a lot of it was destroyed. Not too sure how much is original, to be honest, but it looks very, very nice. We have found St. Mary's Basilica. It is massive. Look at that. Let's go inside. It is time to get ready for your summer vacation. Today I'm going to tell you about Level8. They offer the highest quality in suitcases. They've been kind enough to send me the Champagne Grace Expandable Set They are lightweight and durable, and they come with 360-degree wheels, a very strong handle, and a TSA approved safety lock. All of the cases have interior dividers to make it so easy to organize your stuff. For this short trip, I'm using the carry-on case, but I have the full set. So if you have a long trip coming up or a family vacation, then the big one is perfect. Or maybe it's a shorter trip, then the middle size is absolutely perfect for you. The carry-on case is perfect for this trip as there is so much space inside. There's also a special compartment for my laptop. There's so many different pockets. I have never had a problem with my Level 8 suitcases, but if you do, the customer service is always there. They're extremely efficient. They're extremely friendly if you ever need any help. I have teamed up with Level 8 to save you some money today. Click the link in the description to save 20%. Browse the website. They have so many travel essentials to help you get ready for your summer vacation. Well, that was perfect timing. I walked in at 12 o'clock and we just saw a little show on the clock. A little bit disappointed by this basilica because it is massive, but it's so plain. It feels like they've just moved in. There's just white everywhere. I feel like they need to fill the space with something because one of the biggest churches I've ever seen, but just not much in it. Pretty surprising. That was St. Mary's Basilica. Very, very interesting. Definitely unique. So let me tell you some fun facts. It took over 150 years to complete. It was completed in 1502, and apparently you can fit 25,000 people inside there. And I believe it because it is absolutely massive. It is huge. It is Gothic style and it is one of the largest brick churches in the world. Definitely visit if you ever come to Gdansk. Completely free to go inside. And by the way, that little show that happens on the astronomical clock, it only happens at noon. So I walked in there at exactly the right time. I thought it would happen every hour, but I asked the guy and he said, nope, noon every day. So just behind St. Mary's Basilica is Mariacca Street. Look at this medieval street. This is so cool. Looks like a video game or something. Wow. I've been to a lot of places that are made to look old, but this is literally just old. And they restored it so well, like they take care of it. And I love that every single building is different, like the roofs are different, but they're so skinny. I assume they're skinny because you pay more tax depending on how much land you take up. So look how skinny the buildings are, so they don't pay a lot of tax. You can build up and you won't pay any more tax. That is so cool. If that's not an Instagram spot, then it should be. But we've made it to the river. This is so nice. This just proves the development of building. So this side of the river, they're so old and they're so medieval. Then the other side, they're so boring and they're so ugly. I know which ones I prefer. Let's walk along the river just a little bit, see what we can find. That right there is the crane, and if you go to London you can actually see like some old cranes and winches that they used to use to get like products from boats from the River Thames, and that's what that is. And it doesn't really look like that, so maybe it's inside, but if you go to London you can actually see them, but you can't really see the crane here. But there it is. Look what I found. Billy's American Restaurant, USA. USA. You want to see something funny? So they have famous Americans down here. Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, John Wayne. Very, very famous Americans. And then they have Sean Connery. He was British. He was James Bond. George Michael, he was British. He was a singer. John Travolta, American. Marilyn Monroe, American. They got some Brits in there. Gdansk. Man, we are having a lucky day today. The bridge is opening. They've stopped people walking across. So I assume there's a big boat coming. Don't see one this side, so I must be coming from the other side. Let's see what comes through. So I did read online that there's a museum inside a ship, and I assumed it was the pirate ship looking thing over there. I thought it was static, but it's moving. That's what's coming through. Let me know if you remember the Ferris wheel karaoke in Tokyo. I need to go back to Tokyo. I love it. Yes, Poland looks beautiful, but they have so much graffiti. It is ridiculous. This video is going to end on the main street. I hope that you enjoyed seeing Gdańsk. Poland, very, very fun place to visit. The next video, I'm going to be flying to the Arctic Circle. That's tomorrow morning. So hit subscribe if you want to follow me on my next adventure. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.